Alright guys, so this video is going to be a review and kind of how to set up these trail cameras that I picked up on a Black Friday deal at Tractor Supply Company. If you hear background noise, my little girl's watching Barney. Normally I'm out in the garage or something, but today I'm at the kitchen table. So what I've got here is, I think this pack was, it was $100 for 4 of them. And I need more trail cameras like I need a hole in the head, but it was a pretty good deal. And I'll tell you why I thought it was a decent deal. What kind of put me over the top, you know, the typical features of a cheap trail camera, but what I really like about it is it takes AA batteries. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that there. These things take AA batteries. A lot of them take C batteries. Or AAAs or whatever. AAs seems like everybody keeps AAs on hand, and AAs are reasonably cheap. Stay the heck away from a trail camera that takes C batteries or D batteries. If they take them 9-volt, them little square batteries, I've never run across a trail camera to take them, but I have had them take C batteries, and they will eat you up on batteries. Those things are expensive. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll be honest with you, I've already opened up the pack, but I put it back just this way so you guys could see what it looks like, you know, hanging on the shelf or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I got a big old batch of batteries here for them, and I also went ahead and I ordered these SD cards. This was like a 10-pack on eBay. You need an SD card for each camera, and you need 8 batteries for each camera. So we're talking 32 batteries and 4 SD cards. So, you know, the cameras were a good deal, but by the time you figure out, you know, you got to buy an SD card, which ain't cheap, and you're going to have to put some batteries in it. For 4 cameras, it adds up pretty quick. So you can stick some money into these things. But I'm going to go ahead and open the pack. I'll show you what comes with them, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we got the pack open, and in the pack, there's 4 cameras, there's 4 straps, and there's 1 set of instructions. I flipped through the instructions, just kind of skimmed through there. Seemed like pretty easy to read. They tell you how to set the thing for the time and date stamp on it. Apparently you can do like a still photo, or you can do video images, and you can do a multi-shot. Kind of, again, your basic features on your cameras. So it doesn't look like anything real out of the ordinary there. Something I did notice on the cameras themselves, it's got a whole ton of LEDs. They've got the 1/4 inch. They're threaded 1/4-20, I guess, is the standard 1/4 inch size. So like all your tripod mounts and stuff like that, they would thread right into there. That's pretty handy. I will say something that I don't like right off the bat. I've had cameras with like this before. This latch, these little latches are prone to breaking. It's just got these 2 little bitty plastic latches. That's what holds the whole thing. You know, that's your weatherproof gasket is pretty thin on there. It's not to say that it's bad, but when them latches open up, that's going to be a problem. So I've had them in the past where these latches just get brittle over time, so I don't expect a whole lot of life expectancy out of this camera. We'll just have to see how it goes. The features on the inside, again, read through your book. Pretty simple how to set it up, date and time and all that. It does say to turn it. It's got this, basically it's got a sliding 3-position switch on this side, on, off, and aim, and that aim is also your setup. So when you're setting the date and time up here, you'll be using this, and it has up, down, and OK. And again, read your directions. It tells you how to use those buttons to set it. But to get started, you flip it down, make sure it's in the off position. You hit this eject button, and the bottom of the thing opens up, and that's where you insert your batteries. Now it says that it requires 8 AA batteries on the outside of the package, but when you read the book says that you can run it on 4 AA batteries, but they recommended for longer life out in the field to go ahead and use 8. So I'm going to go ahead and use 8, but that's also really nice to know you got that option. If you're checking your camera pretty frequently, you could get away with putting 4 batteries in it if you know you're going to check it every few days or whatever. You know, you could just keep refreshing your batteries if you didn't have some on hand. That's a pretty good feature, I guess. So I'm going to get some batteries put in this thing, and put the batteries in. I'm going to stick it back up in there. The SD card plugs in the side there, And then you got jacks also you could plug into, but I'm just going to use the SD card, and then you know, like a lot of guys, I'll pull the SD cards out in the woods, pull the SD card, change it out with another one, and well, heck, be careful with this weather strip. Apparently, I'm just trying to shut the door with one hand, and the weather strip keeps flipping up. So I could see me losing that out in the woods real easy. That's, I guess, one thing to keep an eye on. It does give you, I guess, a few different ways that you can mount this, but it comes with a strap. So there's a look at the back of it, and there's the model number 119504C. So made not in USA. I'm gonna go ahead and get some batteries in this thing. I'm gonna stick the battery tray back up in there, get in my SD cards here, and we'll stick a brand new SD card in that. I'll catch you guys up here in a second. Alright guys, so I got the batteries in there, but I want you to see on this SD card, you see that little gray tab on the side of the thing? All these SD cards are able to be locked. And I don't know if you can see the little emblem or not. If I slide that down, that locks it. So be aware of that. Your card may be different than this one. Just make sure it is unlocked when you put it in, or you won't be able to record with it. So you want them unlocked. Alright guys, I just set this one up. I put batteries in it, put the SD card in it, and I'm using the instructions here. And I gotta say, for something made overseas like this, a lot of times the instructions are very poor and hard to understand. That is not the case with this camera. These instructions are very good. It took me no time. As fast as I could read, I was doing whatever it said to do in the book, I was doing over here, and it worked excellent. The only difference that I found was there's a portion of the setup when you get to setting the camera ID. That was okay, and then you get to formatting the card. Should come next, and actually in the menu the restore default settings came before formatting the card, so the sequence was a little out of order here. That's the only complaint I've got with the setup so far, and I think I'll go ahead and put batteries and cards in the rest of these three, and we'll get them outside, and I'll show you what it looks like when we put this thing on a tree. Alright, so we're out here in the woods, we're putting out the cameras. Got my nephews with me tonight, and you can see we got 3 of them laying here. So we put the first one up, tested it, didn't have no issues out of it. We put this one up, and I pulled it to cinch it tight, and I broke a piece of the plastic on this clip here. So I just wrapped the thing around itself and pulled it to cinch it tight. But that little clip is just broke, and I didn't put that much pressure on it. So one of the boys run down to the truck. We're going to get a bungee cord to put it on. I'm a little disappointed by that, but I'll show you how you set these things up. So first thing you do when you get out to the woods, we've already got batteries in it. We set our date and time and everything already at the house, and it is in the off position. So you open it up, you kind of get it pointed the way you want to. When you orient these things, when you're out in the woods, they won't tell you this. The manufacturers won't tell you this, but they're all the same. This passive infrared sensor picks up daylight and dark. When the sun is just coming up and just going down, you don't want to point these things east and west, because it picks up those sun rays, and it'll cause you to get a bunch of pictures of either a sunrise or a sunset. So the manufacturers never tell you that, but keep that in mind. Point them north and south if you can. Otherwise, you point them east and west, you're going to get a bunch of pictures of nothing. So anyhow, we've got this pointed directly south, and we're going to open this up. You can tell it's in the off position. This is that 3-position switch. So flip it up to the middle position, and I'm going to see if this red light comes on here. There we go. We got the red light blinking. Now I'm going to walk around as if I were a deer and see if I can trip that light to blink. And I want to see where it's picking me up. There, it just started blinking, so that's actually fairly poor. That's about how the first one was. I'm only about 10 feet away from this thing. It's still blinking. Now I'm backing up. I'm about 25, maybe I'm about 30 feet from it. Okay, it's picking me up, and I'm I'm about 35 or 40 feet. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's actually really good. Okay, so I'm on a food plot right here. This is a new food plot. You guys that are subscribers, you've seen the progress on this plot. So we just want to kind of see what's using it. Okay, so we're pretty happy with how we got it set. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it to the on position. After we're going to go ahead and, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and put the bungee cord on it right now. Okay, so my nephew to the rescue. He went down, grabbed the bungee cord out of the truck. Again, this camera, it's got some loops and stuff on the back of it, so we hooked the bungee cord into those two top loops there, and the bungee cord was a little long, so we tied a knot in it. So if your cords are a little long, tie a knot in them, it takes up that extra. I'm gonna leave the broken strap on there. It can't hurt, right? So we got it set for, you know, it's facing the way we want it and everything. We already tested it in the setup mode, so it's in the off position. We're gonna go ahead and flip it to on. And I don't know how well you can see it, but it starts counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7. So he's gonna go ahead and clip that shut. And we're gonna try not to get too many videos of ourselves. I've got these set to video. I find that video, typically you get to see more of the critter. You know, I can't tell you how many pictures I've gotten of deer from these things, and you see about half the rack. I had one deer a few years ago. I saw half of the rack and the body, but the other half of the rack got cut off from the edge of the picture. But the one half rack that I could see had a drop tine on it. Well, as it happens, I think I saw that deer about 3 days after that picture was taken, and he actually had 2 drop tines. He had one on each side, so I would have really liked to have seen that other half. But if you put it on video, you don't have that problem sometimes. So that's how you put them out, guys. Again, face them north and south if you can help it. We're gonna go stick one at the other end of the food plot here. You can't see it, it's dark. Heck, it's only about 8 o'clock, but it's so dark so early now. I hope this video helped you guys. If you're looking for trail cameras, if you want to consider subscribing, I'll make a video on how these things perform. We'll come and check them in a couple of weeks. So click that subscribe button. You'll get to see that video. If you like this video, or if it did help you, click that thumbs up button. And until the next one, keep on tinkering.